Welcome to the Unshackled Life podcast, real talk about faith, freedom, and following Jesus. My name's Dalen Woodard, and this is one of those Ramblecast episodes. Not scripted, not polished, just me talking it out and thinking it through. They may have even been recorded on the fly with interruptions or background noise. If you're up for an honest, sometimes messy, but hopefully meaningful musing, you're in the right place. Let's go. Last night, Leah and I were cuddling up together and watching some short reels, which we do quite often to kind of relax together at the end of the day. And the highlight of the evening for me with those reels was two that played back to back, and I'll mention them out of order. The second one was this girl. I don't know, probably somewhere between 11 and 13, but who knows. She was playing this brass bowl type instrument, the kind of thing that's popular in the Caribbean. They have little dimples in them in certain places, and where you touch them, it changes the sound. And anyway, she's playing that, and it's beautiful. And that was really nice. But the one before it was this little autistic boy that's really fun to watch. He's probably 4 years old. Leah says he is 4 years old. He's 4 years old, and he's a naturally gifted, probably because of the way his brain's wired, drummer. And he uses his natural surroundings, as well as practice pads, to play the drums. And I mean, you hear about the little kids that can sit down and play Beethoven. Okay, this kid is like that with the drums, almost kind of thing. But all he plays is praise and worship. He drums to these praise songs. He's drummed live with For King and Country because he does an excellent version of their song, The Little Drummer Boy, their cover of the classic song, The Little Drummer Boy. The one last night was The World on Fire. And he usually sings along with it, and he did last night. But for some reason, the volume wasn't as good. I couldn't understand him. I couldn't really hear him. Couldn't hear the music very well. But you could hear that rat-a-tat-tat. He was doing it. But at the very end of the song, which I hadn't heard in a long time, you could just hear the lyrics coming through, and then he began to be a lot more clear. I could hear him and understand him on that last little bit as the song fades into the chorus of This Little Light of Mine, I'm Gonna Let It Shine. But it's just a little, just that, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. And it made me think about a commercial that I've been seeing recently. And I'm in that group. Everyone here, we probably all get lots of ads come across our television, social media, whatever platform you use to stay connected to anything that have, pharmaceuticals selling whatever. I'm sure everybody does because, well, that's the American way. And they changed the lyrics to This Little Light of Mine to market their antidepressant. Now, I'm not mentioning the name of the the name of the brand for two reasons. Number one, I ain't mad at them, all right? Number two, in my personal opinion, what they did with the lyrics is at least as theologically sound as the original. So I really don't have a problem with them changing it. It's not the lyrics that I have a problem with. It's the worldview. And the worldview is not their fault. And they're not supposed to be the body of Christ. They're a company trying to make money. So I don't really have a problem with them. I do parodies in my head. My life is a musical. If you say something, it quite often triggers a song lyric in my head. And quite often also, I will change that song lyric to match my circumstances. This Little Light of Mine was written in the 1920s, just about 100 years ago, by an African American gospel spiritual songwriter, and he wrote, "This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine." And he continued, "I won't hide it under a bushel, no. I'm going to let it shine." And it's a reference to Matthew 5. You are the salt. You are the light. The light shouldn't be hidden and instead put out for the world to see. And of course, that bushel is our flesh. Well, that was 100 years ago. Today, the lyric has been changed. And it begins, "This little light of mine has been dark for quite some time. Then I let in the light to help me see more of the light inside of me." Now, depending on how you take it, that's not so good. And how you take it is all about your worldview. And that's the issue. That's what changed. And it's not that people were better, any less sinful, or anything like that at all. But there was a major difference. About 100 years ago, the vast majority of people in this country, regardless of your race, color, regardless of your gender, regardless of whether or not you would bow the knee, submit, or even try to walk with God, the worst outlaws and criminals in the country, the vast majority of them believed there is a God. Now, Hebrews tells us that faith is made up of two things. It has two components. Number one, you have to believe there is a God. And number two, you have to believe that He is a rewarder of those who diligently seek Him. Well, even if you're a reprobate, even if you are horrible, evil monster, if you believe in God, you're halfway there. So, when the pressure hits, you could almost go either way, right? Backwards or forwards. And if you just fall a little forward as the pressure hits, where are you falling to? God, if you're there, help me. It's where the 911 and foxhole prayers come from, right? If you're there, help me. George Bailey knew how to do it, and that was Hollywood. But you have to have a basic understanding that there at least might be a God. Worldview's been changing. We started saying things like, God is dead. God was never there. There is no God. The universe created itself. That's a neat trick. That worldview changed. When you close your eyes to the truth, you're blinded to the light. You can't see it. When you rebel against God's ways and live in selfishness and self-centeredness, you get icky and your flesh becomes a bushel. And no light gets in or out without grace and a miracle of God. But in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. That Word was life, and that life was the light of the world. And the light came into the world, and the world didn't receive it because they didn't recognize Him. But to those who did recognize Him, there's life. Now hear me, please. I am not knocking psychiatric help or psychiatric medications. If you need help, get it. I'm grateful to God that there's something that helps me treat my PTSD that works with very minimal side effects and allows me to function throughout the day and think even while I'm taking it. And God is doing healing in my life, so I need it less and less. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that God made materials and elements and all the things that could be put together to help restore and slow the damage that was done to our bodies, our minds, and our hearts because of the fall. I'm grateful for men and women who've been able to study and research and put things together. You need oxygen, but oxygen will not give you life. It'll sustain you longer so you can find life, but it will not give you life, and neither will a pharmaceutical. It might help you get there. I'm not saying if you need it, don't use it. I'm saying Jesus is the light. He is the answer. And this song was theologically sound because your light's not going to be there or shine until you let the true light in. It's not your light that needs to shine. It's His light. He is the light. And after He said that, His bushel, which wasn't like our bushels because His flesh was not stained, was nailed to a cross on our behalf, and it was broken, and blood was spilled, and that innocence died, so our guilt can have life. So if that joy is gone, for whatever reason, bad wiring, bad chemistry, bad life choices, bad life circumstances, the ultimate source of health, the ultimate place where you're going to find life is indeed, as they said, to let the light in and see what God does in your life. Thanks for spending some time with me today. If this Ramblecast sparked a thought, stirred something in you, or gave you something to wrestle with, I'd love to hear about it. You can reach out by email to DalenWoodard@minister.com. That's DalenWoodard@minister.com. And if you're finding these episodes helpful, feel free to share them with someone or leave a comment or a review. Until next time, be blessed, and remember, when you fix your thoughts on God and build your thinking on the foundation of His truth, God fixes your thoughts.